You know how period products are sold to us, right? They all come with these big promises of comfort and ease and just a better experience. But what's the real story behind the marketing? In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the unspoken truths of what it's actually like to use them, all based on one person's very candid experience.
Let's dive right in with the product that gets maybe the most hype, the Menstrual Cup. It's always pitched as this perfect, eco-friendly, set-it-and-forget-it solution. But is that the whole story? Well, we're about to get into the nitty-gritty that the instruction videos conveniently leave out.
You see, for a lot of people, figuring out a menstrual cup isn't just some quick tutorial you watch online. Nope, it's a full-on reality check. So you know the promise, right? It's supposed to be easy, totally clean, and super comfortable. But for the person whose experience we're following, the reality was, well, a whole different story. A steep learning curve, a lot of mess, and sometimes for sensitive skin, it was actually painful.
Okay, let's break it down. Getting it out could be messy, sometimes even painful. But the biggest problem? That so-called perfect seal. Turns out it's not a guarantee. If that cup doesn't pop open all the way inside, it's gonna leak. And the only way to be sure it's open is to, manually check, which can be uncomfortable and, you guessed it, messy all over again. So you might be asking, why even bother with all that hassle? And it really boils down to this one simple thing. When you get it in properly, you literally don't feel it. It is that comfortable. And honestly, for a lot of people, getting to that point where you can just set it and forget it, that feeling is worth the whole frustrating process. All right, so if the cup is kind of the high-effort, high-reward champion, where do the old standbys fit in? Let's talk about pads and tampons, because they were absolutely essential alternatives here. And their roles were super clear-cut. Pads, easiest thing in the world. Perfect for those lighter days, zero learning curve. Tampons, on the other hand, were the heavy hitters, the go-to for heavy flow and for sleeping through the night. Because, being internal means removal is clean and leak-free in the morning.
But tampons had this one really surprising quirk. As this user put it, they absorb urine, which isn't ideal. Now, I bet I know what you're thinking, and it is a totally fair question.
Exactly. Right? How is that even possible? I mean, the tampons in the vagina, urine comes from the urethra. They're two totally separate places. It sounds like it shouldn't be able to happen anatomically. Well, the answer is way simpler and kind of more mechanical than you might think. See, the problem isn't the tampon itself. It's all about the string. Think about it. A bigger tampon, one for a heavy flow, it sits a little lower. That means the absorbent string is hanging outside your body. So when you go to the bathroom, the stream of urine can hit that string, and the string just does its job. It absorbs liquid. It's simple physics, really, but definitely not ideal. So after digging into the real, unfiltered pros and cons of all these products, we land on what is maybe the single most important point of all. It's all about your body, your choice.
The most important thing to take away from this is that every single body is different. Someone else's story can be a great guide for sure, but it's never going to be an exact copy of your own experience. What works wonders for them might be a total nightmare for you, just because your body, your anatomy, and your comfort levels are completely unique.
And that's really the bottom line here. This isn't about a competition. There's no single winner when it comes to period products. It's about understanding that the right choice is a totally personal one. It depends on your flow, your body, and what makes you feel comfortable and secure. That's it.
So, we'll leave you with this question. Now that you've heard about the messy reality of cups and the surprising physics of tampons, what new questions does that bring up for you? Because really, thinking critically about what you're going through, that's the first step to finding what really, truly works for you.